Hello there, beautiful people. I am Sasha with Fibers of Mind. I am also one of the teachers for Macrame for Beginners group on Facebook. And today I will be going over and answering some of your questions about the making of this piece, which I call Sonata del Mar. This video is meant for absolute beginners and beginners who might need clarification on some of the parts of this piece. I will show you how to tie the knots in each section, so if you are familiar with the knots, just skip to the part you are interested in. Here are the materials you will need, and I haven't listed here the wooden dowels that you will need as well. I will list the links to the suppliers where you can buy the cord in the description, but if you are interested in the small batches of these particular colors, I will make them available as a kit in 100 feet each in my shop. Please let me know, and if you are interested, I will notify you when I finish assembling the kits and they will become available. In this section, I will show you how to tie lark's head and reverse lark's head knots and how to tie double half hitch knots over the thin dowel. Let's take a look at this part. This is reverse lark's head knots and the double half hitch knots over the dowel. Begin by folding your cord in half and hanging it over the dowel from the front. Now you see how the loop is created? Just pull your middle strings through that loop, tighten it gently, and here you have it. It's your lark's head knot. Notice that part that goes over your middle two cords. Now let's take a look at the reverse lark's head knot. You start the same, just have your piece of cord in half and hang it over your dowel only from the back. Again, the loop will be created, so pull your two middle strings through. You will see that this time you have an opening in front right there instead of the cross section in the other one. Here we have a row of reverse lark's heads knots, and we will attach the dowel right under. So I will begin by securing one of the end on the right side so it doesn't move around too much, and start from the left side. So tie your first cord over the dowel and then the same cord second time through the loop, and you will go over the dowel, not under. Now repeat with the second cord, and again you will be tying this knot twice. So go over the dowel, you see the loop that is created, just pull that cord through and repeat again over the dowel and pull it through. Continue until you get to almost the end of your dowel, and I will show you the trick how to make things go a little bit faster. Take your cord and twist it clockwise, like that. You see the loop that's created? Just hang it over your dowel and tighten it up a little bit. Create another loop, again clockwise, and hang it over the dowel and pull it through. You see, you are creating the same knots, only now you can make them much faster. And this trick will not work if your dowel is too long, but when you get to the end, I think that will do the trick. Now I will go and adjust the lark's head knots on top to make them look nice, and here you have it. In this section I will show you how to tie a square knot. If you know how to do that, skip forward. So let's begin with counting 4 of the strings. You have here 3 sets of 4. So take 2 strings on each opposite side of the middle ones, fold the right one over the middle, and the left string will go over the folded right one. Now take your left string and tie it around the middle strings and through the loop. Here's your first half. Second half will be repeating the process only from the left. Left string, go over the middle 2, right over the left, and around and through the loop. This is your square knot. Now repeat that on all the rest of your strings. Word of advice, even though you will have 2 square knots, one under another, and you might be tempted to just tie both of them, I suggest to go and do 1 row at a time. That way you will have even tension and even spacing. Tie the second row of square knots right under the first one. Now we will tie another row of square knots only in between the first row. And again, we will work 1 row at a time. So begin making your square knots as I showed you before, and be sure not to tie too tight. You see how I'm doing it really gently, because right there, if you tie tight, this is what's going to happen, and your piece will be uneven and kind of scrunched together. After you're done with the second row, add a dowel with the double half hitch knots under that. Now that you have added your second support dowel, we will add some color. I usually measure 10 times as much length as the length of the section, color section that I want to make. Here you can see those little knobs at the end and on the back. That's where the cord was cut off, and I put a little bit of fabric glue to hold this together. Take your color cord and start tying the first half of the square knot over your vertical strings. When you are finished with this first half, you can tighten it up a little bit, not too tight, so you can position it on the string where you want it, either up or a little bit further down. Continue tying a square knot one after another as long as you want them to go. Now I will show you how to make a spiral. So start the same manner. You can take a 3 or 2 cords to wrap around. I'm taking 3, but it's up to you. So start with your first half of the square knot. And then repeat that same first half. And again. And do you see how it started kind of curling and spiraling on itself? So basically, if you repeat the same first half over and over again, it will start spiraling. You can then scrunch it up a little bit more together. I usually do, so there's not much of the cord in between showing, and just keep going until you reach your desired length. Now that you are done, turn your work around and on the back, tie your ends with the regular knot very tight. I'm not gonna tie it really tight here, but you should tie it pretty tight and do that knot twice. And again, pull as tight as you can. Now you can snip your ends right there. And what I usually do next is take the Fabric Fusion glue and apply some dollops on those ends and then squeeze them together so they stay put and will not unravel. And do the same thing on all of your spirals and all your color cords. Tie the knots, tie them really tight, and then apply the glue. This is how these tied up and cut off ends will look on the back. They're all glued together, they're pretty hard, and I know that they will not unravel. Now let's look at the fourth and final part of this project, the horizontal colored lines. Here's what they look like. I have two different colors that I used, and I will finish them up and tie them together at the back, just like I just showed you with the other vertical cords. And here's how it looks like. I hope you can see. They're also glued together so they will not unravel. Take the end of your color cord from the spool and wrap it around your first string in this manner. Make sure that the tail is hanging out so you can tie it later. This is what you should have. Now, take your cord and just like we did before, fold it on itself, only counterclockwise, and pull the string through. This is what you should have. Now push it on the back to hide your tail and bring your working cord up front. Now go ahead and again flip it counterclockwise and pull your cord through. Do it again and pull your cord through. You can adjust the your color cords as you go. So continue in this matter, and do you see, because you don't have to work with the other end of your color cord, it can't be unraveling straight from your spool, and therefore you don't have to really calculate how much you need to cut to finish your row. And that's it, folks. I think that's probably all the pieces that you need to know to make your own piece. So if I miss any questions, please do let me know and I will try to address them. Happy making and thank you for watching.